Good afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing, but it's a thing we want you to tune into every Saturday afternoon. I'm Elsa McGee, your host, and I'm here doing the same thing I've been trying to do ever since we started the show, to make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA, and the USA with the plight of veterans. And we've been talking about it all across the nation. But today, my sidekick is not here. He's on the road. But today I have some news that we've been working on since 2015. We've been at building a memorial for the 240 some young men that was from Atlanta, Georgia, and 8 other cities in Fulton County who were killed in the Vietnam War. Well, this past Tuesday, we got the news. It's going to happen. It's about to happen. Actually, construction will start on the memorial this month in April 2025. And we expect it to be finished by before July 4th. But now, let me say this. The reason for this memorial is to bring home those that paid the ultimate price for the freedoms that we have in this country today. To make people aware of the sacrifices that our communities, our families have made for this nation. And to say this, diversity is our strength. We know recently we have a lot of issues with the federal level of government trying to divest all of the programs in our country that included diversity. So what we bring to the table is a monument that was established by the first fully integrated military in the Vietnam War, where we got to know each other, where we got to be able to serve one another, where we got to be able to cross racial lines in a way that had never been done before in this country. And what we bringing out of that this memorial is a call to unity for veterans and our communities to come together, to recognize, to acknowledge, to honor, and represent and protect our individual and collective sacrifices for what we have in this country today, because freedom is truly not free. So I want you to go to the memorial wall. The memorial is sonsofAtlanta.org, hit it up, and look at the pictures, the profiles of these young men. They were from Atlanta, College Park, East Point, Hatesville, Union City, Alpharetta, and I might have missed College Park. And they left this city, and I left this city in 1967, going into the military. It was a fully segregated community. Fully segregated. There was nobody that looked like me on city council, nobody that looked like me on Fulton County Commission. But now look at it. Diverse and growing, prosperous city for everybody. Now we got some problems, but we're going to address those problems after we dedicate this wall. We're going into the libraries and community centers all across this great county with resources and education that's going to change the landscape and improve the quality of life for everybody. That was what we served for, and that's what we got. That's what we are working on. We ain't going to let anybody take us back. We can't afford to let people take us back to the time when our government was ran by rich white men. You know, that's what it was, rich white men. That was the only ones that had any say-so in the governments of this country. And the conditions of the masses of people was, post-slavery. I grew up in a time where my grandparents lived in a house without electricity. There was no washing machines and no things you had to wash your clothes by hand. So since then, since 1967, we have came forward in ways that nobody can deny. We built great communities. We built great businesses, and we're still doing things that should never be forgotten, and we should be able to pass it on for generations to come. That's the whole purpose for building this memorial, was to establish a point where we can all come together and make sense. Make sense out of the sacrifice. I want you to look at the profile of the young men that we are honoring. Most of them, one of my best friends on there, Louis Herman, didn't live to be 21 years old. He was killed in the same month that Dr. King was assassinated, in April. He was born in November, so he didn't make it to his 21st birthday. And that's the story behind the sacrifices that our communities, our families made for this country. We was in a time where the government wouldn't represent all the people. So we changed that. Even before that, women couldn't even vote. Now their rights are under siege. The right to health care for women is under siege, because we don't know all about the issues that they have to face, and we need them to teach us. But we don't need to discriminate against them in the military or in any parts of society. We got stuff in this country that other countries, other people live to come see. It's our diversity that has made this country great. Every ethnic group, every race have contributed something to get us to where we are today, whether it was in industry, science, education, politics, or else. So what we are here today, excited that we're going to actually have this physical memorial in Atlanta Historic Piedmont Park that's going to represent all of Fulton County, all of the cities that was in existence at that time. And we're going to bring them together and to honor, not just to honor, but to represent the freedoms that these young men served and gave their lives for us to have today. We cannot forget. We cannot go back. We cannot turn back from where we are going. We are on the right road to a more perfect union, where all with liberty and justice for all. We got to remember that's what the U.S. military stands for. It's to defend these freedoms, to make sure that our interests around the world is represented in the values that we have, we want to share with the rest of the world, because they are values where we recognize and value all of our people. So today, I want you to kind of lay back. We got some things we want to share with you. But we're just concentrating on the memorial today, because right now we are trying to raise money with the memorial. And how are we trying to raise money? You can buy a brick. You can buy a commemorative brick. Now, these bricks will be as a part of the foundation and the memorial with your name on it, or with the name of a loved one or somebody that you really want to honor for a long period of time, because the brick will be there as long as the memorial is there. Now, you can go to the website and buy a brick 24/7. Anytime, day or night, you can go on this website, sonsofatlanta.org, and you can purchase a brick. And the bricks start from $100 up to $1,000, depending on what you want to say on the brick and where your brick will be placed in the memorial. Where you got the memorial represent five branches of the military. When we started the memorial, we didn't have the Space Force. So we just going to keep it where it is. We're going to represent what we started out to represent, the U.S. military as it stood during the Vietnam War era, and how it has progressed since then. Go to our website. It's more than just a website. It's a place where you can get to know the spirit of these young men that sacrificed, not just the ones in Atlanta, but the whole 58,000 coming from all across this country. And we got a wall in D.C. that represent them well. But I think it should be in their hometown so we can really appreciate the value of their lives and what they serve for, and how this country has progressed since the Vietnam War, which was the first integrated military expedition. So now we're gonna look at one of the tapes on the website that I think is very provocative and teaching, where we actually talk about the problem of racism and how we was able to really overcome that racism during the Vietnam War to the point that we was able to fight together, serve together, and in the case of 58,000 die together for a common cause, the same cause, the freedom and opportunities that this country has to provide for everybody that come here. And we want to continue this. We want it to keep growing because it can only get better, because our diversity is our strength. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Our diversity is our strength. So we're gonna look at a short tape here, and then we'll come back and talk some more. But we want to be able to start looking at this website, because over the next month you'll be seeing and hearing us all over the airways of Atlanta, Georgia, and probably the state. Because right now we're trying to let everybody know what we're doing and why we're doing it. And Status Network has been our host for the last 2 years, so we're starting it right here, right now, letting people know that we done got it done. We got this memorial, and you will be able to visit this memorial in Piedmont Park after July 4th. So for the next minute or two, we're going to be watching a short film with some of the guys that helped make this moment possible, helped make this project possible. And they are diverse. Jack.
I joined the military in 1965.
I was in the service from 1969 to 1976.
I did about 12 and a half years in the Navy.
Veteran of the Vietnam War, stationed in Pleiku.
I came on active duty in the 70s.
When I went in the military, the thing that challenges me the most is the fact that the attitude and the acceptance of racial discrimination of all types.
You got to remember that the Vietnam veteran, the Vietnam era, was segregated. After growing up and developing, I realized that, everybody got a different mission, but they may have the same purpose. We recognize that in Dr. King's philosophy, that what Dr. King was advocating and protesting for, we felt very much like that's what we were fighting for. That we wanted to have the equal opportunity.
I went to get coffee one time at a White Tower. They gave me a coffee with maggots, full of maggots. There's hope for this country, but there's got to be a change.
Always have this racial divide with the black community and white community, but I still believe we're all brothers, we're all the same. Just trying to do the right thing. If we can get people to do the right thing, then we'll all be fine.
I'm an eternal optimist, and I'm always thinking things were going to get better and everything. And that's what I feel now.
We are the central crossroads of the world now. We are the most popular city in terms of having the opportunity to grow and change. And we've shown pretty good exhibit to grow and change in Atlanta. I think we should be proud of that process.
The changes that I've seen over the years drove me to the passion that I have right now and the vision that I have for setting up the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam Memorial Project, which is a project that will honor the 240 young men from Atlanta, Georgia, that were killed in Vietnam.
I think it's good to recognize the people that did serve the country and did, great things for their country. Were willing to give up sacrifice their time, their energy, their family life.
Most people do not understand the Vietnam War, and it's amazing. You can only spend 25 minutes of your life and catch up with all we did in 25 years.
When I think about the sacrifice that we made as soldiers, how we gave our lives, put our lives on the line for this country, I think it would be a great honor to see the veterans with a memorial dedicated to the veterans that gave themselves for us in this country.
This memorial is about freedom. It's about opportunity. It's about the resources it takes for families to live and prosper. The service that we render young men and women are still rendering that same service today. And I want to just take a minute to salute my grandson, Freeman Harris, Sergeant Freeman Harris in the U.S. military at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And I just want to encourage them to keep on keeping on, because it is worth it, no matter what it looked like sometimes with the toxic politics and the economic divide that we have in this country. We got to overcome it, because that is enough for everybody. There's enough resources in this country for everybody. 2% shouldn't control 90% of the wealth. And that's what this memorial is about, bringing our communities together to confront and address these inequities, and to remove people from our governments that would practice this kind of stuff. The Sons of Atlanta Vietnam War Memorial is coming soon, coming to Piedmont Park. It will be on the front lawn on Piedmont Avenue between 12th and 14th Street. The commissioner said give him 2 weeks and we'll be putting up the fence around the construction site, and we will be showing it on media, and we will be talking about it throughout the country, really. Because Vietnam War era is a era in this country that I believe changed the country, because it it thrust us into integration, opportunities for ex-slaves. Since then, we've had a black president, and we got we've had Atlanta have had black mayors ever since the 60s, the late 70s. So we are progressing. We are able to share in the wealth of this country like never before, and we should be appreciative of that, because these young men gave us the opportunity. Say no greater love than one that will lay down this life for another. They laid down their life for the opportunities that we got in this country today, and we want to make sure that they are available for everyone. So we're just not building a memorial in the park. We're going in a movement in the community to change some stuff, to make equity a reality for more of our people. Because we've seen what little we got, how much good we made with it. And so we need to keep on keeping on. We need to make sure that nothing in the community is withheld from anybody that's living in the community. If you want to do away with crime, do away with lack. We're going to clear the lack out of our community so we can do what we need to do to make sure we're having a better day with this memorial and with people in our community. We want to make sure that they're having the opportunity to grow and prosper, everybody, because there's enough for us in this land. And we want to talk about, immigrants too, because we see the mistreatment, the misinformation about immigrants. Some of the greatest military servants in our community come from immigrants. People came here and joined the military so they could get their citizenship. They came from a land of lack to a land of plenty as immigrants. So we got to welcome them. We've got to welcome them and treat them just like we want to treat each other, with respect and dignity. So as we look at this coming month, we want to make sure that you get an opportunity to buy a brick, put your name on it, or put the name of a loved one on a brick in Piedmont Park along with this memorial. It just shows that you support this idea, that you will stand with us when we go into the communities to make a difference, to work in communities to address issues like gun violence. Nobody I know as a veteran want to see automatic weapons in our community, and we want to make sure that we get them out. There's no place for automatic weapons, and those are war weapons. That's what we used in Vietnam. And that's what they use. And we don't need our police officers being shot down by automatic weapons. And the more you get in the community, the more chaos they're creating. So we got to address this issue. This is one of the issues that we believe that the Sons of Atlanta can address and resolve, because we know that it's politics and money that got this open wild west kind of culture we got going in the community now. So we need to talk about that, and we need to organize around and strategize to come up with ways that we can eliminate automatic weapons from the streets of Atlanta. And that's one of the things that the Sons of Atlanta will be addressing in the community. How do we do it? We don't know. We don't have all the answers. But I think in dialogue with people in the community and stakeholders in our government, we're going to come up with some solutions that are going to change the landscape. We won't have to worry about your children going to school and somebody coming there with an automatic weapon and hurting them. You shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have that kind of concern. And we can get rid of the automatic weapons, and you won't have that concern. I'm not against the Second Amendment right to bear arms, but the right to bear arms shouldn't include the right to have an automatic weapon. You know, I think that a lot of people say, well, you can have it, but be responsible with it. Well, if you can have it and be responsible with it, then well done. But if you can't have it and be responsible with it, you don't need it in the community. Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Our children are dying. Our children are having shootouts in the community. I grew up in the city. I didn't come here. I'm from here. And it hurts me to know that kids on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, shootouts. On Bankhead, shootouts. You know, and Oakland City, shootouts. It's too much. And we can't act like we can't do better, because this is not something that has always been happening in our communities. This is something that we have allowed to happen in our communities. So we're going to work with the Sons of Atlanta, sonsofAtlanta.org. Go to our website, see what we're doing. And we're going to have a short show today because of traffic and some other things that we're doing. But we had to get this out today about the memorial coming soon. It's coming soon, and you'll be able to go to Piedmont Park and with your family and visit the memorial. And the people that, families that are still here in Atlanta, they will feel honored and vindicated for losing their loved ones so young. And they'll have a much greater sense of pride in why they served when other people was refusing to serve. Matter of fact, the current president of the United States, refused to go in the military during the Vietnam War. So now that's another subject altogether. We ain't talking about that today. We're just talking about the memorial. But these people chose to serve, and they did to the death. They served to the death. They put their life on the line and lost it. We should not lose what they served for, especially in the hands of somebody that didn't serve at all. It don't make sense to me. So we need to stand together. It's a call to unity. This memorial is a call to unity for our families, veterans, and all of our families, all across Fulton County. We're not talking about race. We don't care what color it is. We're talking about veterans and their families. We're talking about our communities. We want our communities to be a safe place, a safe and better place for our children. The only way we can do that is we got to come together. We got to come together across Fulton County. We got to come together, work together, and honor what we've sacrificed for. No community have given any more than this community, the Fulton County. So let's do something different because we want something different. Let's walk together. Let's talk together. Let's unify and change our communities. Let's get our communities back to a safe place for our children and our people, period. So we're going to cut the show short today because we got some other things on the tap that we got to do. But we wanted to make sure we was here today to let you know that the memorial is coming soon. It's going to be soon in Piedmont Park. You'll be able to go out to the park and honor these young men. See them, get to know them. Come in the community center. And if you want to volunteer to be a part of this movement, please let us know when you go on the website. You can communicate with us through the website. Let us know that you are willing to help with this movement. This has become a monument. Now it's a movement. Thank you. And I want you to go to sonsofAtlanta.org, sonsofAtlanta.org, and like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and share this story. Share this story. Just share it. Thank you.